And we are live. Welcome, Peter. How are you?
Good morning, Stefan. Nice, good, very well. How are you?
I'm good, doing good, thanks. Today we are going to be talking to our B2 students. Okay, so this is high level. These guys, they work hard with their English. So, what exactly are we going to be talking about today?
Today, okay, sorry. Yeah, we're going to be talking about some confusing words,
Very
vocabulary.
confusing words. And we're going to start with the hardest ones first. Okay, the hard ones are work and job. So, we're going to be looking at the differences. The problem with these words is that, for example, job is a noun, okay? And then work is both a noun and a verb. Okay, and that's where the complication comes in, okay? Because when do we use it in one way, the other? So, but we've got an outline, we're going to be looking at it slowly. So, Peter, could you help us out? What's the first thing that we need to remember or keep in mind?
The first thing we need to keep in mind is, as you mentioned, job and work are both nouns, but they slightly different. Let's give some examples. Your job, when we talk about your job, it's your occupation. For example, be it a cleaner, a teacher, a banker, a firefighter, a scientist. That is your occupation. Work, on the other hand, is the stuff that you do. For example, like what do you do in your job, or in your projects? Are you fixing a roof? Are you teaching? Are you writing down something? Or perhaps it's the stuff you do outside, whether you cooking or you're doing gardening, fixing your car. That's the difference between job and work.
Okay, so for example, I could say that my job is an English teacher, and I work with children and adults, and I mark exams, I prepare material. So I have a job, which is the title, kind of the
Mm.
my profession, and then the work is the things that I do. Okay, nice. And another difference is that job as a noun and work as a noun. Job is countable, one job, two jobs, three jobs, okay? Or I have two jobs every day. And then work is uncountable, okay? So we can't say jobs, I have two jobs, okay? Sorry, work, we can't say two works, okay? Um, so, for example, to ask how many, we would say, how many jobs do you have? Okay. And how much work do you have? One is with how many, countable. The other one is how much. Any other thing that we need to keep in mind?
No, I think that's pretty much it for these two, job and work.
Mhm.
How do we use job? Oh well, let's look at this example. We can say, hey, a lot about cats. You should get a job as a pet psychologist. And this is interesting because we can use the phrase "get a job as" plus the name of the job. Let's go back to the first example. You can get a job as a pet psychologist, get a job as a mechanic, and get a job as a cruise ship pilot.
That's good. So there are more words related with job. For example, we
Mm.
can go job hunting. Yes, like so to have a job first, you need to go job hunting, and then you will send some CVs, and you can then apply for a job. We apply for jobs, and then you get a job interview. Okay, that's where you go and they ask you questions. You can also ask questions. So we get a job interview, and then if you are good at the interview, they will offer you a job. Okay, so they offer you a job, and if you accept, voila, you got the job. Okay, so we got job hunting, apply for a job interview, uh, they can offer you a job, and you get a job. Is there anything else that we can keep in mind? Anything else
Yeah,
that you can think of?
absolutely. We can also use as to say exactly what the job is. So it's true, you have a job, but what kind of a job? Example, she's looking for a job as an antique dealer. I'm interviewing for a job as a marine biologist this afternoon, and I'm nervous. And that's normal, eh? We're nervous when we going for job interviews. Just some things to keep in mind when we explaining what the job is. We can use as in the sentence.
That's true. So let's start like kind of like summarizing it up. Job relates to the occupation that we have. Okay, so my job is a teacher, or his job is a firefighter. Work refers to, as a verb, the things that they do inside of that job. Okay. For example, I can say I am a firefighter. I work with other firefighters. Okay, that's part of the things that you do in your job. But then there's a slight difference, because jobs can also be little things that we have to do, maybe at our home or on a to-do list. Okay, so for example, maybe Peter, you say, hey Stefan, come over for a beer, and I say, sorry Peter, I have so many little jobs to do in my house. Okay, this refers to the little tasks that I have to do inside of my house. It can also be I have many jobs to finish by today. Okay, whereas work is more related to in general. Yes, we can work 8 hours, have a lot of work to do, 10 little jobs, things like that. Is anything else you can think of? Because work and job, they have so many differences.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we talk about work, we're talking about the things you do. So things that involve our physical or mental efforts. And so this really means that when we use work, we're talking about how good or how bad it is, or how much or how little there is to do. For example, we can talk about what kind of work. Well, we talk about work that is rewarding work, or physical work. We can talk about hard work. Or if there's so much to do, we talk about too much work. And here we often say, yeah, there's work to do, or I've got work to do, when we talk about unfinished work. In other words, we still need to finish the work.
Good. And for me, I have just one more difference. I don't know if you have any other more, but I have one more, which is that work is also used to refer to the place where we do our job. Okay, so I can say I work at a shop, or I work at a bank, or from home. And then sometimes I am going to work. It means that you're going to the place where you have your job. Okay, and for me, that's it. Do you have anything else we can add to these?
Remember, I think we mentioned it earlier. Work is also a verb. Okay,
Mhm.
it's commonly used as a verb, but we can use it in different ways. For example, we can say, "I work as," plus the job. I work as a English teacher. I work as a scientist. I work in. I work in retail. I work in IT. I work at the company. I work at Trainlang. Or we can also say I work for Trainlang.
Nice. Well done, Peter. Thank you so much for that one. So yes, let's summarize. It will be work as, work in, work at, and work for. Those are really useful. Nice. Okay, now we move on to two easy ones. Okay, so we can give our listeners kind of a rest. Funny and fun. Okay, funny and fun. So funny means that it makes you laugh. Okay, so you laugh and smile when something is funny. For example, you can say, "Hey, that new film is so funny. We didn't stop laughing during the whole film." Okay, and then fun is. Does fun mean that it makes you laugh also, Peter?
Oh, fun means entertaining, not boring. Okay, we're talking about fun. But it does not imply or does not mean laughing. An example, The new roller coaster is so much fun. We didn't stop screaming until it's stopped. We're not going to say the new roller coaster is so much funny. We rather say so much fun. I like puzzles. They are fun to do when it's raining outside. Or we can also say your cousins are so much fun to be with. We need to have another party soon.
Yes. So I like those examples because in the first two examples where the roller coaster is so much fun or puzzles are fun, we are not laughing when we are on a roller coaster. We are screaming, or when we are doing a puzzle, we are not laughing. We are concentrated, enjoying the moment. But then when you said your cousins are so much fun, okay, maybe yes, maybe we were laughing with the cousins. Yes, they are fun to be with. So fun means entertaining, not necessarily laughing. It can be laughing, but not necessarily, you know? So there's a difference. And then we have fun, okay? We can have fun, but we can't have funny. Okay, we have fun is when we have a great time, we have a good time, it's entertaining. Okay, I can say that show was so funny, we had so much fun. Okay, so we move on to the next one, the last two?
Yeah, speak versus talk.
Yes. What
So
can go
yeah,
ahead?
yeah. So speak here. The main difference between these two similar verbs is that when we use speak, it's more formal than to talk. But let's have an example here. So here we're talking about something that is more formal. We can say, "I need to speak to you."
And that
Okay,
would be
instead of saying, "I
formal.
need to talk to you."
Mm.
So it's a formal expression, and when we use this expression, it's probably the case that whoever's speaking does not know you very well, doesn't know us very well. It could be a formal situation at work, or what the person has to tell you is serious or important.
That's true. Like, for example, I could say, hey, Peter, the boss wants to speak with you. And then how would you feel if I said that?
Nervous.
Because it's something, it's probably something nervous, yes?
Exactly.
So if I say, hey, the boss wants to talk with you, uh, probably you would still be nervous, but not as much, yes? Or
Yeah.
another example would be Amanda spoke with me yesterday. She has called off the wedding. So she gave bad news. That's true. Nice. So yeah, speak formal, talk less formal. Okay. Another difference would be, for example, when we do presentations, okay, or when we give a speech or give a talk. Another difference is in language. And what's the difference when we're talking about languages? Which one? When we speak about languages, is it speak or talk?
Yeah, we always use speak. How many languages do you speak? We're not going to say how many languages do you talk. Or we say, I wish I could speak Italian. I wish I could speak Spanish. In other words, I would really like to speak these languages. We're not
Yes.
going to say, I wish I could talk Spanish. I wish I could talk English.
Very good. So yes, languages we use speak. Another difference would be that speak focuses on the person who's producing the words. Okay, so it focuses on just that person who is producing the words. I can say he spoke to us about what effective teaching means. It was interesting. So he was talking, speaking, we were listening. Or I can say, who is he speaking to? So when I say that, it gives a feeling of less like a conversation and more like one person producing the language only. And whereas talk focuses on the speaker and at least one more person, it gives more of a feeling of conversation. Yes, when I use talk, I can say, for example, don't interrupt people when they are talking. Okay, so that means more of a feeling of conversation. Is there anything else that we need to keep in mind with these two confusing words, Peter?
Yeah, when we on the phone, For example, we always use speak, and we're always on the phone every day. We're on the phone, so we use speak and not talk. We call someone, hey, is Stefan there? Who's speaking, not who's talking. It's always going to be who is speaking. So we use speak and not talk on the phone.
Yes, and we say I'm speaking on the phone. Thank you very much, Peter, for your help today. These were some confusing words.
That's great.
Now, if you still find it confusing, you can go to our campus, okay, and maybe get a lesson with one of our teachers at campus.trainlang.com. And there we have more examples, more activities to practice with, and more class material. And you can obviously always practice with our teachers. Peter, thank you very much for helping us today, and see you
Thank
next
you,
time.
Stefan. Excellent.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Ciao.